Welcome to GearCheckGames. This is part 34 of our commentary for Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. Last time we did some side quests, returning to Hooktail Castle to get the up arrow, which we used to have Merlon upgrade some of our partners, more than he could before.
You missed.
We also recruited Miss Mouse to the party.
Yeah.
And we won't be using her much, unfortunately.
You mean that rat that's following you is a friend?
We're going back to the boo shop.
Hopefully we've all of our brains have come to grips with it by now.
Guys, why are they wearing bunny ears?
They're not. They're wearing cat ears because this is the American
It still makes
version.
me uncomfortable. Oh, poor Don Pianta.
Yeah.
He's so
we're hot on the trail of Chapter 6, but we gotta talk to Don Pianta again to get some transportation lined up.
So, Joe, I know you're not super hot on, like, this storyline, like, with the Piantas and whatnot, but I love the dialogue for these sections of the game so much.
I think I painted, like, an overly negative impression at first, because, like, I don't dislike it. It just kind of stuck out to me, like, when I was playing this, like, oh, this feels kind of random. But, like, the dialogue absolutely is really entertaining, and, like, especially my first time through, I remember thinking, like, the mafia speak these guys do was just, like, the funniest thing. Like, to the point where I would, like, read it aloud to myself as I was playing.
Yeah.
But anywho...
That's pretty much like this whole game, really. Like, there's some flaws, but you've really overlooked them for the most part because the game is just that charming.
It goes a long way.
He said he was going to turn you into confetti, meaning that they know of everyone's existence of being made of paper. They're aware of the simulation.
I never read it as that.
How could they know that?
I didn't realize that either. I read it as they're gonna whack Mario like a piñata until confetti comes out.
Oof.
Why would confetti come out of it? Anyway, how would they know that they're paper if they don't have white outlines around all of their mobs?
Maybe it's best that they don't know. Because that would surely bring with it a slew of other issues.
That brown bomb looked like a meatball, and I'm already kind of hungry.
Yeah.
Also, confetti piñatas are what you get when your parents are like the kind of parents that like never let their kids eat sweets of any kind, because they're like, if they don't eat sweets, then they'll never want sweets, because they'll never know what they're missing, so they'll never complain about eating healthy.
That's how reverse psychology works.
Yeah.
So to briefly get back to what's happening, which I guess is kind of becoming my catchphrase in these videos. Don Pianta is suffering from Star Wars Episode 3 Padme syndrome and is seemingly dying of a broken heart. So we need to go and get his daughter and son-in-law to come back and pay him a visit.
So, what is this? Paper Mario, the Centennial entrance.
Game time started. Backstroke of the West is awesome. Watch
It's
it.
great.
So yeah, I bet you didn't think we'd be coming back to Keel Hall Key so soon.
But boy, am I glad we
even
did.
after the chapter's over, we can't avoid backtracking back to here.
Yeah, and backtracking all the way back to the damn Pirate Grotto entrance.
You gotta go
to
real
briefly
far.
get ahead of myself.
They wanted to get the most out of this area.
Yeah, they just really liked this jungle.
Honestly, I feel like that might be why, like, this chapter stands out to me more as, like, egregious backtracking than Twilight Town, because this one has you backtrack even after the chapter's over. So, like, you think you're already done with it, and you're like, oh my god, I gotta do it again.
Yeah, can you imagine if, like, for some reason you had to go all the way back to Creepy Steeple to, like, grab something for, like, one of the later chapters? Oh, God.
Ring, ring. Hello, Reverend Lovejoy? I have a problem. Joe just said he didn't want to do any damn backtracking. What was it, Keel Hall Key?
What is it now, Ned?
Like, imagine if you had to find a certain somebody and he was just hanging out over at Creepy Steeple up in Dupless's room.
Oh boy, yeah. I'm thanking my lucky stars that is not the case. Also, this part coming up here, I've heard people complain about this for being like a repetitive activity that's like a waste of time.
What, Frankie saying
funny.
I love
like
you?
Animus. You can just mash through it. It's fine. There's no problem. It's just a joke.
And even
It's
keeps
over in,
track
like,
for you.
20 seconds. Don't actually time that because
Yeah,
I'm probably wrong, but...
Francesca's mad at him, so she's making him apologize to her, or say I love you 100 times before she'll forgive him.
Why didn't you just put the slider music in there? Make it go at normal speed.
Because it was a required enemy encounter, Trey.
You should have played Bulk and Skull's theme and set it up a
I
little
like
bit.
that Frankie's response is just like silence. Like he's already kind of realizing he might have made a mistake on their honeymoon.
I'm all out of love.
This is how you summon Cupid. You have to say I love you 100 times to summon him.
Those little piranhas are very fast.
No, yeah, don't worry. I don't show the entire like backtracking to Pirate Grotto. I just wanted to show Miss Mouse in her debut battle.
Love kiss.
I think the only move I show is Love Slap.
What does tease do
Okay,
again?
her having a move called Tease
I think it
is...
confuses enemies.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Her having a move called Tease is about on par for me with those boos with the cat ears.
Well, thankfully, Nick, I never use it. You're welcome.
It's just weird.
Hey,
There are many weird things.
who are
in
you
this
to
game.
judge their fashion choice?
How does she tease if she's not wearing any clothes? All she's wearing is shoes and a
You
mask.
don't have to like.
She like kind of lifts her mask up a little bit, like
Oh god, she has eyebrows.
Guys, that's not the only kind of teasing there is. She could have just been like.
I don't know, man.
haha, you have no legs.
Boy, that's. Sorry to coin a phrase, but that's a little below the belt.
Based on her previous interactions with Mario being all sweet on him, I doubt she's the kind of person to go nya 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 nya.
She totally
Could you
is, Trey.
imagine if that move was just her
Poison
saying
for
nana
8
nana
turns.
boo boo?
That was the one voice line in the entire game.
She's just extremely petty.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Okay, if you screw this up, okay, thank God.
You did
I was
it.
gonna say if you mess this up, there's no hope for humanity.
Yeah.
Because what I found is if you have like a bingo at the beginning of the slots, and you push A just as like the roulette sound loops, you'll usually get it. Oh, and I level up in this fight. You're
I
welcome, Dan.
feel like I remember hearing something. Maybe it was like a Strider 7X thing or something. Or maybe it was somebody else's playthrough of Paper Mario. But like the roulette, there are a few special conditions for it that like make that not be the case. But I can't remember what it is.
Well, in the final boss,
I know,
there's
I know that in the final boss there's
yeah.
the thing where like
it's like fixed.
Oh, this
But I
is
feel like
beautiful.
there was something with like the poison ones have a weird like mechanic of some kind. I can't remember exactly what it is though.
Hey, Yoshi's back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never encountered that,
Yes.
or
Vincent
knowingly
is back.
encountered it anyway.
Well, I mean, you've always tried to avoid hitting a third on the poison shroom.
Yeah.
So.
Watching Miss Mouse's debut battle, I kind of remembered why I don't really get much use out of Miss Mouse.
Because she's like Bobbery with half the damage.
Because they like severely lower her attack, with the region being that it pierces defenses, so like that's what balances it out. But like, I can't really think of many enemies at all that have over like one defense. So like, and when they have one defense, at that point it's like you're better off just taking the one one damage reduction and just using a stronger attack from another partner.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like it's another deal where like they had a neat idea and it's like it makes sense kind of by itself, but in the context of the game, like there's not really any necessity for it or whatever to like encourage you to use that over something else.
Well, and it also doesn't really help that the earliest point you can recruit Miss Mouse is like right before like the least combat heavy chapter in the game.
Uh-huh.
So even if she was better in battle, like, there's a pretty narrow window in which you're going to be using her.
But
so.
Joe, she can sniff out items.
Yeah.
But if you're right next to them.
Can you put her on like dowsing rods and just like use her tail? You grab her by the tail and she like stands straight up in the air and her nose points directly to it.
They should have made her like the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire dowsing machine where Mario just puts her on his head.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Boy.
Just made the character look like
Who
a bee.
remembers that?
Honestly, that's
That was fun.
one of the better renditions.
Make her like Flood from Sunshine. He just straps her onto his back, and her tail sticks up over his head and like points in the
No, I was
direction
going to say
of an
use her
item.
tail as like the backpack straps.
It's already bent. You could like.
So
You don't have to break
I
it.
know that we've like totally glossed over this, but I like how he just straight up replaced his desk with a bed.
yeah.
He's got all this room, but he's like, "Nah, this desk has to go so I can fit my bed in here."
What if it's like a Wallace and Gromit type situation, or like a Hey Arnold situation, where he can push a button and the bed flips over and his desk comes out?
Or maybe the bed is just the desk flipped upside down. Like they just physically turned it over.
Yeah. And then like turned it to the side.
That's really good conservation
I
of
love
space.
that the Piantas have like custom made wedding rings for their giant like
Yeah.
hands.
It's like a wedding band now.
Yeah. It's like the binding band from Mario Odyssey.
At that point, just wear it as a bracelet. Just
But they can't because they can't fit it over their big meaty hands.
bracelets actually have to be like bigger than the wrist because their hands are so big. Because
Yeah,
they have
that's why they
big,
just wear it on their hand.
meaty claws.
They can't hold anything with that hand anymore, but at least people know they're married.
God, that rock is
Also,
a weapon.
since they're the mafia, they just wear rings like that so they can also double as brass knuckles.
Yeah. I mean, look at her. I'm scared of her.
Also, this joke doesn't really work because in one of the previous cutscenes, Frankie said, "Let's go, Francesca."
What?
So it's not the first time he's had to call her that. She's like upset that he keeps calling her like pet names. And demands that he use her real name.
Use a
And he's
real
like,
name.
Francesca?
He's afraid of his own lover's name.
Names have power, don't you know?
And that was red flag number 2.
Man. Oh yeah, so I feel like optional partners are a mechanic that does not get utilized enough in RPGs.
Yeah.
Cause like, it's so cool, right? To play through an RPG and like have a party member and then like be talking to your friends about it, and you're like, oh yeah, I was doing this with like this guy, and your friend's like, who? Oh yeah, you get him from. It's such a cool experience.
Well, have I got the game for you? It's a little PS1 classic
Called
Chrono
Cross.
Oh yeah. Doesn't that game have like
You
100?
get not one, but like 30-something optional partners.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Because
saw.
like 10 of them are like required.
I was looking for a PS1 game today at Vintage Stock, and I saw Chrono Cross while I was in my search.
Yeah, I think Chrono Cross has like 40-something partners total.
If you think about it, isn't Pokemon like the prime example of that? Because technically every partner is optional.
Insert mind blown image here.
You do have conversations like the one I was describing with like friends over Pokemon, or at least when you were kids and you were playing Pokemon, you did.
Yeah.
All abroad. I mean, all aboard.
Yeah.
All aboard for the best chapter
Best
in the
chapter in
game.
the game.
I do not know if you guys are being sarcastic, but I do really like this chapter.
No, we're being totally
Yeah, dude.
serious.
Yeah.
Everybody loves this chapter.
Well, see, I assumed that Joe was being serious, but then, Dan, you have that sound in your voice that makes me think that you're being sarcastic.
No,
That's
that's
just
just
my
Dan's
voice, Nick.
usual intonation, yeah.
Yeah. Also, ironically, the most backtrack heavy chapter in the entire game.
Hey,
like,
but no complaints here, man.
I
It
mean,
works.
technically speaking, yes, that is
Yeah.
technically true. All right, well, we'll see you in the next one.